So, you should probably keep an eye out for a pesto video, which hopefully will come out soon because, oh my gosh. Hello, howdy, and welcome back to the garden. I'm Kathryn, the Aerogarden Homesteader. So there's a lot of things that have been doing pretty good. I think that this is the garlic. It's been doing pretty good. This is one of the brassicas. Might be broccoli. I think I planted 3 broccoli, 3 cabbage, or 3 cauliflower and 2 cabbage. The broccoli is doing well. The cauliflower and cabbage not quite so well. But I don't know if you can see this. So this is the basil. I tried to put it in on a cloudy day and I don't think it was having anything to do with that. This is the parsley. I kind of think the same thing happened. Basil lying on the ground. So there was a fine line between waiting too long and, you know, not waiting long enough. And oh my gosh, this is the second time I have put this in the ground. I think something is coming along and digging out my plants. Okay, well, let's get that back in there. I don't know if it'll do any good. So, okay. This is the mustard. The mustard has started flowering. You know, I thought about ripping it out, and then I got to thinking, well, mustard seed is useful, so I'm just going to leave it and let it go to seed. I will harvest some mustard seed. The elephant garlic is doing really well. Those are the big ones. The slowpoke here is finally starting to come up. The last one has not, I don't even remember where I planted it, somewhere in here, but it hasn't shown any signs of coming up, so that's too bad. This is another one of the brassicas. Again, I think it's broccoli. It's doing pretty good, although I don't think this one, I don't even know if that's where that came from. The one over here does not seem to be doing very well. I don't even know where it is. I have a few replacement plants that didn't make it in the garden, so I will put those in. I did end up putting in some of the purple basil, because the basil I put here from the Aerogarden, I think they had just gotten too big and they just weren't doing that well. So we'll see. The tomatoes are in. They were small. So it kind of is what it is. So here is a cabbage. It's doing okay, but again, who knows? I think I got 2 plants there. So it's just how it's doing. I did put some dill in. The dill seems to be recovering. I can see some new fronds on it. There's my poor cucumber. I don't think it's going to make it, honestly. Let's go get a closer look. Oh, here is the 4 plants that are left. I think this last one finally kicked the bucket. I don't think this one made it. These ones... This one actually looks like it's doing good. This one might be okay. This one seems to be struggling. And that last one that I just passed over, I think it's dead. Let's go see the cucumber. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing cucumber this year. I might just replace that with another pumpkin pie. And just not have cucumber again this year. So I do have, my little onions are trying. So I don't know if they will, I don't know if they'll make it. It's a shame. And good news, the strawberries have finally started flowering. They're putting out tons of flowers. I think these are, some of these are 2nd-year plants, some of these are 3rd-year plants. So I don't know which ones are producing better or not. And then some of these, I think that one back there is a 1st-year plant that's kind of mixed in with all these leeks. And I have no idea if these leeks are going to be usable. Like, look at the size of this sucker. That one's actually looking pretty leek-like. So I think what happened was, because I left them in the ground, they divided. So I don't know if you can see, but there's like 2 or 3 coming out of the same hole. And so I think what happened was they split off, and now it's like 2 plants growing in the same spot as one. So maybe they're usable, maybe they're not. I guess I'll have to see if they go to seed or not. If they go to seed, I might just have to pull them, because I don't think I want them just sitting here again for another year. But the strawberries, I don't know if you can see, all the way down the line. Nothing but white flowers. And the peas seem like they're doing pretty good. They seem like they're finally getting their growth spurt going on after I fed them. It's amazing what happens when you give something a little food. And in front of them, I don't know if you can see, I do have more tomato plants. I think these ones are a little close together, but I did try to space the rest of them out a little bit better. But I just threw in a lot of the extra tomato plants along here, and I threw in some of the bigger ones. So I should have just thrown some of the bigger ones in the main bed, but I didn't. I've got the nasturtium here near some of the tomato plants. Squash seems to be doing well. So I might not be able to grow cucumbers, but I've been able to grow squash. And then back here, I finally put my sunflowers in the ground. So they're kind of in a shady spot, and some of them look absolutely sad. They, because they were in the little pots, they didn't get enough water, and so they just kind of wilted back a little. But a lot of them are doing pretty good. So there's going to be a bit of a wall of sunflowers back here, which I think will be really cool. This is an area I don't normally plant much in. I don't know if you can see, but there's a lot of shade back there, and that's because there's a fence there. And so it just blocks the morning sun, which, you know, in the grand scheme of things is fine, but when you're trying to grow something. So they do get a bit of sun, and they will get a little more sun as the sun gets higher in the sky during the, you know, summer. So hopefully they will produce, because it would be nice to have some flowers back here. And then these are turnip, I think they're actually rutabaga, that I had in the ground last year and just didn't produce. So they're going to seed. I might just let them drop their seeds here and let them reseed, because like they're just, I'll probably put tomatoes back here as well, but there's really not much I'm going to be putting back here. More strawberries. These particular strawberries, I hate to say it, but they grow like weeds. I've not been able to contain them. I've tried to contain them to this row, and they escaped. We had them in these beds, and they escaped. They were growing under this cherry tree. I had to pull them out. So this is one of our cherry trees, one of our many cherry trees. Our apple, here, so I don't know if you know this, apples grow as a thickening at the base of the flower. So that little stuff at the bottom of your apple, that's actually the remnant of the flower. So this little thickening here, that will be the apple. So you can look at the apples, and you can kind of see which ones have been pollinated and which ones haven't. So this one doesn't quite look like it's pollinated. Let's see how this one's starting to thicken up. It looks like it might have been pollinated. So it's still early days. They literally just dropped their petals like a day or two ago. Here, I'll show you on the pear tree. Yeah, this is a better example. So see how it's thickening at the base? So these ones got pollinated, which is really good. We have not been able to try this one yet. This is a young tree. So this is the first year it's produced fruit, or we hope it produces fruit. So that's how they do that. They thicken at the base. And then stone fruit, they actually come out from the flower. I don't have any good examples to show back here, but yeah, so this is another type of pear. We have tasted these ones. These ones are good, and they freeze dry really well. So I'm going to show you the basil that is inside, and oh my gosh, they are just going insane. And indoors is the basil. You know, I was actually going to put this out in the garden. That was kind of the whole intention, but it got a little out of hand. So you should probably keep an eye out for a pesto video, which hopefully will come out soon, because oh my gosh, like the light is halfway up on this Aerogarden. This is the farm. This is insane. It's just like, it smells awesome. But yeah, that's gonna make a lot of pesto. So yeah, keep an eye out for that video. And in case you're wondering, yes, this is still going. It does still seem to be bug-free. I check every once in a while. I have not sprayed it in a while, actually, 2 to 3 weeks. Got new growth. I've got a new flower. This one is almost ripe enough to harvest seeds from. It's still firm, waiting for it to soften up just a little, but I have been able to harvest one of them. So yeah, they're doing really good. This one is still pushing out new growth. Look at this. This is all new growth here. Over here, this is all new growth. There's tons of new flowers. I mean, it's just going insane. I thought that cherry tomatoes kind of grew to a predetermined size, like the determinate ones, and stopped. Look, it's got new growth. It just keeps pushing it out. Like, it's incredible. Well, anyways, I wanted you to just see how this was doing because, you know, you've kind of been following along with this for quite a while, so I'll give you the occasional update on it. But yeah, no, I'm still getting cherry tomatoes from it, so it's hard to complain about it. But anyways, back to the garden tour. So we have some of these raised beds that we bought. They were actually a clearance item at Lowe's. I guess somebody bought them, didn't want them, and returned them. And so we got them. This will be nice for herbs. And I'll probably put in some of my flowers in there as well because I got a lot of extra. This is what I'm putting my mint in. So what I need to do is I actually need to raise up the floor so we don't have to fill quite so much dirt in here. And then we also need to put down some brick, level it, put down the brick, and then we can get the beds back on. So that's actually why a lot of my stuff has been delayed, because this is the raised bed I've been talking about, this one here, and it's going to be what a lot of my mint and herbs will be in because, yeah, mint can take over. Definitely don't plant mint in something that you don't want to have a ton of mint. Kind of feel the same way about strawberries now, actually. So, yeah. Well, this is sage. Did you know sage could flower? Look at this. It's starting to flower. I didn't know that. That's just incredible. I will keep you informed of what that looks like, but I hope you found this video useful. Thank you for joining me today on this lovely day. It was a really nice little garden tour, and I will see you next time on the Aerogarden Homestead.